I like to blurt out words and say stuff off the top of my head, so it's only appropriate that I should do the off the top of your head tag. And I was tagged by Please Read Your Book. If you haven't had a chance to check out his channel, I enjoy his videos quite a bit. I will link his channel down below. And so let's get into it for right now. The first prompt is, what was your favorite picture book as a child? And I honestly think it was Where the Wild Things Are, and I remember liking Goodnight Moon quite a bit. I would have to say those two. The next question is, what series did you love as a child? The first series that I ever read, there were two of them, and I did like both of them quite a bit, and that was the Narnia books. And also, I really liked the Little House on the Prairie series. One of my aunts bought me that series when I was, I don't remember how old I was, but I didn't read it for a long time. And then I read it later, maybe when I was like 10 or 11. So next question is, the worst book you have read or tried to read? I keep trying to not talk bad about this book. And then I do tags. And it's always like, there's tags about the worst book you've read. Now, it's not the worst, but I really thoroughly disliked it. And that was The Curator by Owen King. And he had great ideas and delivered on none of them. And that's what frustrated me so much about that book, because there really was some great ideas, but every single one of them was just a failure. Yeah, that's all. That's it. I could go on and be a jerk, but I'm gonna stop here. All right, so next. What is your favorite reading or book memory? Oh man. Reading or book memory? I have no idea. I guess if I had to say like a favorite reading or book memory, like I just have really good memories of going to the library as a kid and coming home with stacks of books. Like that was always magical to me. I can't think of just a specific moment or memory that like just pops in my head. But yeah, going to the library, certain books, like I guess reading the Narnia Chronicles for the first time, or my love of Alice in Wonderland, stuff like that. All right, so next is a book you loved as a movie. Book I loved as a movie. Probably the Lord of the Rings series. They did a great job on that. That is the first thing that pops into my brain. A book you wish they would make into a movie. There's one I read recently and I was like, this should be a movie, and it's Frostbite by Angela Sylvain. It is about this meteor lands. It lands in this field behind this trailer park, and there's all these like prairie dogs, and the meteor cracks open and this weird stuff seeps into the ground, and then somehow all of a sudden all these prairie dogs are infected with this like alien, I don't know if it's like a virus, but like, you ever saw the X-Files when they had the aliens that came, but it was like, there was like the weird black stuff floating around behind their eyes, kind of like that kind of deal. And so the prairie dogs are all possessed, and whenever they bite anything, whether it's a creature or a human, it infects them, and they become like irrational and rabid and trying to kill people. So it's a crazy, campy, fun horror, and it's got a lot of 90s nostalgia. It's absolutely fantastic. I'll put a link down to, I have a video for that, so I'll put a link down below if you want to check that out. Awesome book. It should be a movie. I hope one day, maybe it will be, who knows. So next, a book character that you would like as a friend. Oh god, that's a question. The first thing that pops in my head, right off the top of your head, the Cape from Ghoul in the Cape by Josh Malerman. That guy was wild, and we'd have some great adventures. So after that, a place you want to visit because of a book you read. I don't know, like I read a book and I was like, man, I want to go there. But when I read The Secret Garden when I was younger, I wanted to go to like botanical gardens and see like crazy, big, beautiful gardens. So that's kind of like going to a place. Reading about hedge mazes, I always wanted to go into a hedge maze as well, but I haven't ever had the chance to do that. I've been to botanical gardens and I've seen some crazy, like amazing gardens that are huge and on sprawling lands and la la la, but never a hedge maze. One day, maybe. I know most people are like, an actual place that you go. I mean, there's a couple places I really like to go, but I don't think it was because I read about them in books. I would love to go to Italy and Greece. and Ireland. There's a lot of places. All right, so next, a nonfiction book you would recommend. Okay, so the nonfiction book I would recommend is a book that I recently just read. It's called If You Can't Take the Heat by Geraldine DeRuyter, and it's fierce and fiery and blunt. She is a writer, also a blogger. She has a blog called The Everywhereist, and she kind of rose to prominence when she made these cinnamon buns that were from an apology letter that Mario Batali put out after he had a bunch of sexual harassment allegations. And he sends out this letter of apology and has like the gall to include a frickin' recipe with it. So she made these and she wrote a pretty scathing essay about it. And I believe actually won a James Beard Award for the essay. And so it got a lot of media attention. Her writing's funny. It's about food and life and dating and working in like the restaurant industry and all of that. And it's so flipping good. It might be the #1 nonfiction book I've read so far this year. So I would highly recommend that. I do have also a standalone video for that, and I will link that down below too. All right, so the next one is, if you could hang out with an author all day, who would you pick and why? Well, honestly, I would really like to meet Neil Gaiman. He just seems like he'd be really cool and nice, and his books have been so magical and ones I've loved over the years, and I don't think he'd be weird. Like some people that are authors that I like, I'm like, I don't know. You know, writing is a very solitary thing, and some authors seem more introverted than others, but I feel Neil Gaiman would just be very cool to hang out with and talk to, and you know, talk about books and movies and whatever else. So, if you enjoyed this tag and think you might like to do it, consider yourself tagged. And if you're a fan of tag videos, the next video coming up will be another tag video, so stick around, check it out. And if you had fun hanging out today, that subscribe button, come back, see me again, and we'll talk about more bookish things and weird stuff.